Beard, the young defender there, 19-year-old, in place of Phil Barber. The word from the dressing room is that Barber's picked up a niggling little injury, so he's unfit to resume. Beard, who's been a regular substitute recently, gets his chance then. And he's going into the right-back position. There he is, with a fresh-faced youngster who's come through the ranks at Millwall. Kenny Cunningham has switched to left-back, and Tony Dolby's moved up into left side of midfield, which was Barber's position. Here is the scorer's shot, and he's trying to get Donowa moving, and he'll keep this one in. And there's the ball in. It was dangerous. It's cleared to Potter. Brisk start by Birmingham. A goal up, remember. On goes McMill. And Beard gets his first touch. It's a good one to put the ball out. Key moments again in the match, these, with Birmingham scoring just before half-time. It's amazing how often it happens you get one after half-time as well.
It's key moments, especially for Millwall, because they've had to reorganise again at half-time due to the Phil Barber injury, so they certainly don't need to concede one in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half.
But they're defending. It's been quite a reshuffle in the end for Millwall. Savills in here, and that will be a corner for Birmingham. You know, with losing Alex Ray only an hour or so before kick-off, they've had to reorganise just about everywhere on the field. And McMinn's ball in, and there was a player offside. I think it was Saville. What do you think, Ray, that Mick McCarthy will have said to his side now for this second 45 minutes?
Well, I would think he'd obviously be disappointed with the goal that they conceded, because there wasn't really any trouble when Casey Keller had the ball. But I would think he would just be saying that, you know, you've stuck the ball together and a few passing movements quite well, but you haven't been positive enough when you get in the last third of the field. You've had opportunities, but you've got to believe that when you get into that last third of the field, you can score goals, because certainly the opportunities have been there for them. It's not as though they haven't created opportunities. They have. It's just having the conviction to go on and stick it in the net when the opportunities come.
And here might be one now. It took a deflection, and it's held on the line by Miller. Wasn't the most venomous shot you've ever seen in your life, that one, but nearly snaked through from Roberts.
He's tried in there, not heading it very clearly, and just deflects there, I think, off Graham Potter, and really had Kevin Miller all over the place there for a second.
It seemed to have backspin on it, didn't it? Free kicks given Chris White's way. It really is the old pro there, isn't it? Chris White, former Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Leeds United defender, up against young Mark Kennedy. And White lobs it up there, and it's found its way through for Saville, edge of the area, trying to tee up shut. And here comes McMinn now. Birmingham a lot of men in, and Saville's one of them. He was allowed a free header, straight as it happened at Keller. But that was poor defending again from Millwall.
Well, it was poor defending, yes, but I think Andy Saville, I think he felt the ball wasn't going to come through to him, because certainly when the cross came in, it appeared that Casey Keller was coming for it, made his mind up not to come, went back, and it just seemed to take Andy Saville by surprise, and although he got his head on it, he couldn't direct it where he needed to.
So it's Dolby whose first touch lets him down, and Saville's offside. I think it might have been Shutt who was offside initially. Saville broke from deeper. Here it is now.
Here we see the cross, and you'll see Keller start to come there, goes back. Well, I can't even make that excuse for Andy Saville. I think that he had to do better than that when the ball came onto his head, but certainly Casey Keller started to come. Probably Pat Vandenhauwe thought that he was going to come. He didn't jump for it. Keller went backwards, and Andy Saville really should have done better. And of course, with Danny Wallace in the wings, you know, with Shutt and Saville up the front, when Wallace is fit, then there's an interesting selection problem for Terry Cooper.
Is Danny Wallace one of those missing? He's got a hamstring injury at the moment. They're also without John Frayne and Paul Pesky-Solido, the Canadian, who's got ligament damage. We've certainly got a surfeit of strikers here now. Poor clearance, and Murray made nothing of it whatsoever, and he's made no impact really on the game. So this is McMinn for Birmingham. He's got a man on his left. Shot. That was a lazy ball. Still 1-0, Birmingham City lead. I really have to say there's been some poor quality defending in the match, and the scoreline should have been much more than that. Now then, Goodman hits one in. Well worth a try, and it took a slight deflection too, so much to the crowd's amazement, the referee gives a corner. Very obviously much further away than him.
Well, that's what I was talking about there, and the ball eventually comes to Goodman. He looks up, he's positive, and he has a good strike at goal, good power, and takes a deflection, and they've now got another opportunity.
And they make something from it as well, and that's whipped across just onto the top of the net from Pat van den Hauwe. It's not often he gets up there. You know all about him, Ray, from your White Hart Lane days, Pat van den Hauwe.
Yes, I was speaking to him before the game and asking him how he's settled in and everything, and he said he's really enjoying his football down here at Millwall. He's settled in well. He said a good bunch of lads, and they try to play football, which they've tried to do in this first half, but in the first half that we saw before. Second half here started a bit more positively. Let's hope they can get this elusive goal from somewhere.
It's becoming more and more elusive, isn't it? Well over 13 hours now. Carl Schutt just limping momentarily, I imagine. Did something to himself there, which was hard to see. But he'll want to establish himself now, Carl Schutt, at Birmingham. He's languished in the reserves at Leeds for such a long time. He's got the one goal of this afternoon so far, and now it's Saville. The chance of Hiley's ball in. Taken away by Andy Roberts. He did well, he held off his man and he's continued his run here. Excellent work from Roberts, and he's threaded it through, but Kennedy had just gone a fraction early. That was a shame, and it was led all the way there by that very promising midfield player Andy Roberts.
Yes, again, good positive run from the middle of the field. Donoghue there pushing and shoving him, but he just sees him off. But we can just see there that Mark Kennedy is just half a yard offside. Could have just delayed his run a split second longer, and he would have been through with a clear strike on goal.
We saw Schutt hobbling a moment ago. Birmingham's physiotherapist Paul Heath on to apply treatment to the ankle. Doesn't look happy, does he? Birmingham on the bench today have got two really midfield players, I suppose, in Lyndon Hooper and Paul Fennick. And Schutt, who only just managed to make this game, actually, he's had a problem all week with an injury. He'll want to stay on if he can. It looks as though he will do to me. Shin pad goes on again.
Yes, I'm sure Carl Schutt can see more goals here for him if he stays on the field, so he won't want to come off. But he's just, I think, maybe tweaked his ankle there when Pat van den Hauwe tackled him before. I don't think it was Pat's tackle. I think that just got his ankle in a divot there, or his foot in a divot, and just tweaked the ankle. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, although he is still, limping slightly as the game continues.
Series of 50-50 challenges there, and Birmingham came off best in all of them, so Saville gets in a header. Didn't have a lot of power. So Andy Saville has been the rounds of Hull and Walsall and Hartlepool. At least gets an effort on target. That's firmly belted by White over there. And that looks like a foul. And the linesman flagged immediately against Mark Beard after he made contact with McMinn. And the referee, I would think, who was a long, long way away from the action, will certainly speak to young Mark Beard, if not to his linesman. Which surprised he hasn't consulted his linesman, because that happened right under the linesman's nose.
Yes, maybe he's, here we see the challenge coming up now, and Mark Beard, well, that will be painful, to put it mildly. It was in the pit of the stomach, or probably slightly lower than that, and that will be painful for him. And certainly Mark Beard took his eye off the ball and made contact with Ted McMinn, and young Mark Beard is a lucky player that is not now being spoken to by the referee.
I have to say, Mr. Peck was a long way from the action there, because I don't think he'd been expecting Birmingham to hit the ball that far out to the left-hand touchline. So he'd taken up a position more on the right-hand side of the field, and he couldn't possibly have seen what happened from where he was.
No, but certainly, as you can see, the linesman is right there and puts his flag up for the foul. But I don't think even the linesman saw actually where Mark Beard's foot actually finished.
It didn't seem as though the referee even consulted him, though. Anyway, it's a free kick for Birmingham, and it's Beard who heads it out for Donovan. And then Smith tries to bisect the defence. Ted McMinn still running uncomfortably, still wincing a little. Smith, good left foot, just a little bit too long, although it's not gone out. Kept him by shot. Off it goes towards Saville. Millwall still are only a goal in arrears, of course. And then Mr. Peck gets in the way on. Well, the Birmingham fans were delighted about that. Gives the ball back to them. Much of the work being concentrated down that left touchline at the moment for Birmingham City. And they will have a corner kick. Heath Stevens, known as Rhino, of course, throughout the game. Been there alongside those youngsters like Beard and Cunningham and Dolby. It's a very inexperienced back line, apart from the two centre-backs, of course. Short to Saville. Right, no, good block. Millwall don't seem to have got inside the Birmingham half in the second half at all.
No, they haven't got going at all in the second half. It's an interesting comparison between the two sides, isn't it, John? You know, you mentioned about the youngsters in the Millwall side, and Birmingham side is full of experience. Everywhere you look, there is players who have had many league games, and obviously Terry Cooper feels that these are the sort of players that can really push him up into a playoff position in the First Division.
Yes, I think that's right. Apart from the left back Graham Potter, they're all seasoned professionals. Now Goodman taking it back, and there's a break up the middle from Merritt. Goodman's trying to work himself into a position for a shot. So it trickles through in the end to Miller. He'll be glad of a touch of the ball, I imagine. Saville uses his height well. (1-0) Birmingham City lead. Millwall very much on the rack in this second half, but back to Millwall throwing. One of those statistics that clubs dread, but Millwall haven't actually won here since 1968-69, and you can probably see why at the moment.
Well, I'm sure most of those players won't remember that they're out there for them now.
There's Saville for Birmingham. But who knows, Millwall might still get something from this game, so long as they're only one down. That's a nice touch. Shot and Donovan combining. The shot goes down, and there was no free kick. White tries to beat away Goodman. He fouls him. It's a very scrappy second half, it's got to be said.
It is, yes, but you mentioned about Millwall still having a chance in this game. Yes, they still have a chance at 1-0, and particularly when Birmingham push forward, because every time they push forward they tend to leave White and Dryden at the back to mark Goodman and Kennedy, and it leaves a 2-against-2 situation. It just needs one good breakaway by Millwall and they're back it right in this game.
It was 5 years since Millwall beat Birmingham at all, home or away. 3-1 the score that day, and Keith Stevens got one of his rare goals. Millwall could do with one of those now. Here goes White for Birmingham. Kennedy. Miller seems to relish those situations.
Well, I have to tell you, Keith Miller worries me a little bit with those situations. That's 3 or 4 times there where he's had chance to deal with things early and efficiently. He's wanted the extra touch, and he's given the Millwall forwards a chance to do something to try and get the ball off him.
Now it's Donowa. Not a good ball in though. He's easily cleared. Cunningham. And they found Murray up there. Here goes Dolby. Can't find anybody in a yellow shirt though. Millwall just not functioning at all in this second half, really. And yet they're still in it. And here comes Beard. And if he gets this one through, there might be danger. Here comes Kennedy. That shaved the upright. Well, isn't it amazing? We were just saying they're not functioning at all. They string together a move like that, and the young Irish boy nearly scores.
Well, it's the 2 youngsters in the Millwall side that have actually created it, wasn't it? Mark Beard down the right-hand side, lovely ball in, and Mark Kennedy with his left foot side foots it, and I think that would have gone in. I think it would have beaten Miller. I don't think he'd have got across. It would have just sneaked in, I think, but that just shows Millwall's luck in these away games there. Mark Kennedy hits the post, but it must prove to Millwall, yes, we are still in it, yes, we can get something out of it.
So Kennedy, 40-odd goals in the reserves last year, still looking for his first one in the first team. Hit the post last week, hits the post this Sunday. Well, one day they're going to go in. He's a good enough player to know that. They're looking a bit more positive for the first time in the half, and here is Kennedy. Cunningham. Highly make sure it's only a throw-in rather than a corner. But these are certainly better moments for Millwall. Now Van den Houw's getting it. He was crying out for it a moment ago. Didn't get it then. He gets it now. Here's the ball in. He's going to be offside. The offside flag raised, and Kennedy's elation is quickly terminated. The flag was raised, to be fair, before Kennedy got anywhere near the ball.
Yes, you see a nice build-up here, and the ball's played in. Well, again, it's a very, very close decision. He's only just in front when the ball's played, if he is in front. Very, very close decision, and the sort of decision that tends to go for the home side.
So Mark Kennedy must be wondering just when that first goal is going to come. Here he goes again. He's a trier though. He won't stop. Off, and the ball hits him. There might be something here for Millwall. Dear me. Over the top from Murray. He had a vacant net to aim at as well.
Well, that's what I was saying about Kevin Miller before, but he just worries me when he gets in. He just wants too much time. He's got all the field to hit the ball into, and hits it straight into Kennedy. And I think actually that Bruce Murray could have just taken that on, taken a little bit more care with that finish there, and Millwall could have been right back in it now.
No wonder Mick McCarthy's standing in the dugout now. He senses this is the moment where Millwall could get themselves back into the game, I fancy. And Kennedy's been at the hub of it. as he is again here. Dryden must be positive. Good turn from the centre-back. What really would have been ironic there would have been if the ball had ricocheted off Kennedy straight into the net after the two unfortunate incidents just before that. Here comes Smith of Birmingham. They've been quiet for the last few minutes. Taken on by McMinn. Birmingham have three men waiting for the cross. One of them was Saville there. And Millwall Stevens got in. Corner kick. They've not been able to exploit Donowa's pace down the flanks in this half as they did in the first.
No, it's very true. No, Donowa's been over on this right-hand side all of this second half, and Keith Cunningham has matched him stride for stride whenever the opportunity has arose for Donowa.
Donowa's looking for a different way through now with the help of Smith. The ball inch towards Chris White. Carl Shutt hits it low. Drilled in, and Keller, well, they don't trouble in those sort of shots. No,
it was again Carl Shutt. He put his head in his hands when he hit the shot. He knew he didn't make good contact with it, and it was again a simple save for somebody of Casey Keller's ability.
It's good work in midfield for Millwall by Roberts. He's been as good as anyone for them today. Well, then there might be something on. Dolby inside the area. Terrific effort as well. That deserved reward.
Yes, they're getting more and more positive now. I think that the Millwall team are starting to believe themselves they can get something. Good forceful run in here on his favourite left foot. Unfortunately straight at Miller, and Miller does well to hold it at the second attempt. But bags of power, and as I say, I really do think now that in this last 5 minutes Millwall have actually started to believe they can get something out of it.
Oh, that's a nice little touch, but just gone that bit too close to Keller. And he hits another long ball up the middle. That's twice he's done that, spotting a 2 against 2 situation. Birmingham coped well enough then. And now it's Millwall's turn to cope with the pace of Shutt. And Beard's done okay in that right back slot since he came on. This is good. This is tremendous work up the right hand side. Showing a real clean pair of heels here. And, the shot when it came in from Richard Huxford, too accurate almost.
Well, again, I'm sure Richard Huxford had made so much ground there. He started that run in his own half, and eventually he gets across the two lads. I'm sure he tries to hit the ball across Miller, but the challenge of the Birmingham player just deflected it straight into Miller's midriff, and it was no problem for the goalkeeper. But a very, very positive run again by Huxford.
Birmingham City are leading Millwall 1-0. Carl Shutt the scorer. Midway through the second half. It's a poorly delivered pass from Hiley, who wafts his arms around as if to say, well, nobody gave me any options there, nobody to play it to. Maybe just a few signs of exasperation on the Birmingham side now, and Goodman nearly got round the back of Dryden. And Dryden's recovered after a bit of a dodgy start to the game. Miller's belt upfield, it finds Shutt, it's a one-on-one, still Shutt, inside the area he goes, still it's Carl Shutt, tries to tee up Donowa. Keller again keeps them in the hunt. Donowa's grinning about it all. Again, he was very deliberate with the effort, but needs better than that to beat Casey Keller.
Yes, I mean, Carl Shutt does extremely well here against Pat Vanden Hauwe. Eventually loses him, takes it in towards goal, pulls it back again. It's not greedy, and Donowa really is trying to be too precise. He just has to come on and strike that low, and he's got a real good chance. He tried to side foot it past Casey Keller, and Keller read it so well and was down quickly to his right hand side. But really, Donowa should have done better there, because Carl Shutt had done all the hard work for him.
Shutt and Donowa, two of the players who'll be hoping to be named later as the man of the match. And here's Shutt again inside that penalty area, tips it out there for McMinn. 3 men in the middle. Donowa's one of them, can't get there. Keller's clean catch. And Birmingham have got themselves together again.
Well, just this in the last couple of minutes, yes, but I would still think that Millwall will be thinking that no, this is their best spell since the opening 5 or 10 minutes, really, and that although Birmingham have just had 2 isolated raids, Millwall have had more positive attempts on goal in the last 5 minutes than they've had in the previous 60.
That one spun away nicely for Shutt, and he loops it out there once more for McMill, who can't keep it in. Well, he couldn't blame anybody but himself, I don't think, though.
I think Ted's had, Ted's one of those players that he either receives the balls, runs past 5 or 6 people and puts in a good cross or sticks it in the net, or he does things like we've just saw him doing there a few seconds ago. Easy ball to control, just takes his eye off it and it bobbles off his foot into touch.
Just a glimpse there of Terry Cooper. I know at half-time he was saying he hoped that they didn't suffer from Donohue's miss in the first half, when he could really have sealed the game for Birmingham. And he'll be thinking even more that way with Donohue having missed that latest effort.
Yes, I'm sure he will, and he'll have been, there he is again. I'm sure he will be a little bit more worried now, I say, with what's happened in the last few minutes with Millwall's emergence back into the game.
That was a good header from Saville. And there's one from Van den Hal under pressure from Donohue. Still only a goal separates these sides. Oh, that was a late shout from the linesman, who suddenly decided that ball had gone out. Mick McCarthy's off his seat again, trying to reorganise and urge and inspire. Calmly done by Stevens. Kennedy got the flick beyond White. And Miller's getting plenty of chances to practice his clear-outs. Well, that was poor work from Stevens that time. Shutt sprinting into the area. Has to delay, however, before bringing George Parris into the game. They wanted too long generally then, and so up the middle goes Huxford again. Huxford's done well. Here's Kennedy. Can he get a shot on target this time? Still Kennedy, and straight at the keeper. He doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure, this young striker.
He certainly doesn't, but on that occasion, it was probably the one time in the game where he had to get his head up because there were so many other Millwall players around him in a better position.
It's Millwall now asking the questions, and Huxford's doing particularly well here. Still Huxford, and that wasn't what was required at the end of it, I'm afraid. But Birmingham are being stretched. And noticeable, they've just sent their 2 substitutes out to warm up. That's Hooper, a Canadian international, came here on the recommendation of Tony Taylor. Paul Pescisolido, the striker here, who's made such an impact, knew him as well. And there's Paul Fennick. Murray. Now Dolby. He's had one good effort in this half. Closed this man down, but it will be a goal kick. Cunningham hit that one firmly enough. And Keller's clearance straight to Ted McMill. Can't do anything with it though. Saville nearly won it back. Just a one-goal margin, and really that says something about the standard of finishing in this game, because it should have been more than that.
Yes, both sides have had opportunities to score goals, and to be fair to Millwall, they've had just as good opportunities as Birmingham had, but really Kevin Miller hasn't been tested yet. They've all been straight at him, but at least Birmingham have had shots, not struck quite so well, but at least they've forced some saves out of Casey Keller.
Men's ball in. Harris, Saville. Shows that there might be another change, I think. Shows that Jamie Morley might come on too for Millwall. There's a positive run. A tremendous piece of work by Potter. Well, that would have been one of the goals of the season.
Very good, very good run, wasn't it, from Graham Potter? He picked it up there on the halfway line, really, and just ran, and as they backed off him, and he saw the chance on his favourite left foot, just couldn't quite get the bend on it to get it into Keller's right-hand top corner there, but certainly positive.
As we see, Paul Fenwick is going to come on, and Morley is also coming on for Millwall. Morley's going to replace Goodman. And it might even be a double switch by Birmingham. Ted McMinn certainly is one coming to the touchline. Yes, he's going to go off to be replaced by Fenwick. And Smith's just checking with Terry Cooper there whether he's staying on, I fancy, is he? Carl Shutt's still all right. So it's just the one swap by Birmingham. Millwall now have both their subs on. Paul Fenwick's one of those lads who plays anywhere, according to Terry Cooper. You ask him, or you tell him where he's going to play, and he goes there.
Tremendous asset to any club, players like that, they're happy just to be out there on the field and will give 100% whatever job you actually give them to do.
Headed straight forward for Shutt. He's bundled out of it, but not illegally so. So Casey's good crack up there. Casey Keller's good crack carries the ball upfield, and Millwall really need something from Jamie Morley, the young striker who's only got a lot of goals last season. 15, he was Millwall's top scorer, but he's got only one so far this season. Here he is now, behind White. It comes out, and they've been able to make little of it, so away goes Shutt. Smith's gone out into the outside left position, and that will be a free kick. Oh, the challenge of Keith Stevens on Andy Saville. A reminder of that scoreline, it's Birmingham City 1, Millwall 0. Potter's coming up again, encouraged by that run he had a few moments ago. It's not a good pass this time though. Millwall happy for the ball to run down. Beard stoops and gets his head to the ball. And the onus really is on Millwall to come and try and get that elusive goal. Sal's tricked. It really is a horrendous away record, and you think this will be, unless they do score, it will be 9 successive away matches without a goal. That's going to be a booking here for Andy Roberts. Second Millwall player booked this afternoon. So, yellow card for Andy Roberts. He's had a pretty good day in midfield. His side are still trailing 1-0 as Birmingham look for what would surely be a clinching goal. Not from that. Kennedy fouled by White. There's got to be some urgency about Millwall's play now. That's not good enough, I'm afraid. Roberts gets a second chance. Vandenhau's putting Beard under pressure. Coach with it all right, though. I think they have missed Alex Ray for his experience alone and some of those runs he makes. Birmingham's fans again getting a little exasperated with some of their team's work. No free kick given there. Oh, it's happened right in front of Mr. Peck. Smith. This has got to come back to Casey Keller. He might have just taken a bobble in front of him as he cleared that. Horrible moments for goalkeepers. Still 1-0. Birmingham lead. Kennedy versus Dryden over there. Well, Richard Dryden's an experienced centre-back. Had a spell at Manchester City without ever getting a first-team game, but Kennedy's given him trying time. And there's Terry Cooper on the bench, and there's Mick McCarthy. Both desperately hoping for the full 3 points from the afternoon's work. At the moment, those points are going Birmingham's way. That's why you see managers going hoarse at the end of matches. Parris nudges it away for Saville. And up the middle goes George Parris. He won't quite get there, though. And the home crowd really looking for some urgent action from their team. This is Smith. With 3 men around the edge of the area. Headed safely out by Vandenhauw, though. Birmingham really is sort of performing a holding operation at the moment.
Well, yes, I think that that's why they've brought Paul Fennick on. I think Fennick has gone into the middle of the field there with Parris, and it's allowed Smith to go out on that left-hand side where he's played many, many games throughout his career. And it just makes them a little bit more solid in the middle of the field. They've got the 1-goal lead, and the last thing they want to do is concede one at this late stages in the game. So I think that's why Terry Cooper's made the substitution, just to make them that little bit more solid, because as we spoke before that substitution, certainly Millwall were coming more and more into the game.
And they're coming forward now. Huxford and Murray. I don't think he'll quite get to this one. Acrobatically out, Kevin Miller. All the way back for Miller. Back from Parris. He takes it again. Offside. Up it goes, and Dryden's there firmly again. He's had a pretty good afternoon. In a moment, I'll get Ray Clements to tell you who his man of the match would have been. Hiley taking his time and taking perhaps too long, because then when he waited the ball it wasn't good enough. So Kennedy's here, White gazing down him, he's back again. Well played, Dolby, and he's got a man through in the middle. Here comes Jamie Morley, and importantly Dryden was there on Birmingham's behalf again. Still that hint of menace there for Millwall. A slightly better ball to Morley then, and he was in. Huxford's taken it up for Millwall. Just not a good enough cutback. Smith. Just going to be kept in by Louis Donowa, who's had two of the best chances of this game to seal victory for Birmingham. No offside against Saville, so Millwall bring it forward again. Not a lot of time left in the game for them to rescue anything or to put an end to that horrendous lack of goals away from home record. Well, it's been kept in, and the corner kick, I think, yes. Corner then. Can Millwall get an equaliser here from this? They really are desperate for one. They've still got plenty of men up there as Van den Houw knocks it back across. It had to be put out by Saville for a second Millwall corner. The strain on some of the faces shows that. They probably just don't believe they're ever going to score a goal away from the Den again. They will, but can it be from this corner? It's looped up there, and Van den Houw was one who was coming to meet it. Plenty of time for Carl Schott to belt it away. And wasn't even a touch finder that. Well, Millwall have plenty of men still up here in attack. It's come out to Murray, Bruce Murray. Oh, and that could have gone in off Chris White, as Millwall earn their third successive corner. Well, Ted McMinn, I understand, has been named by Jimmy Greaves as man of the match. Not sure that would have been the choice of Ray Clements and myself here on the gantry. Millwall's corner, their third in succession there, and again Birmingham deal capably with it, and away goes Smith. Donowa has retrieved the situation that Birmingham seem to have lost there. There goes Louis Donowa. He's got the pace to take everybody on, but Keith Stevens stood there ably and took the ball off him. Way forward for Kennedy. Mark Kennedy, 17-year-old, shows his paces. He's got to get that ball back, and he does that. Just gives Ray Clements time to tell me who his man of the match would have been.
Well, I'd say it wouldn't have been Ted McMinn, that's a certainty, although he did some good things in the first half. We really didn't see anything of him in the second half at all, and although the likes of Pat Van den Houw has done really well, but I would have gone for David Smith. I think that he's done very, very well in the middle of the field for Birmingham. He's worked hard in the middle, he's given the ball away very, very rarely, and now he's gone onto that left-hand side, and we saw some 5 minutes ago that he's still got the old winger's skills, causing fullbacks problems and getting crosses into the box. So I would have said David Smith would have done better than Ted McMinn today.
Okay, the game is all about opinions. We saw there that cut back from Kennedy, but for the moment it looks as though Millwall are going to be goalless again, and that's something Mick McCarthy has got to be really concerned about. I mean, all teams go through barren spells, but 9 matches away from home without a goal.
Yes, I mean, he's got some consolation that they have created chances this afternoon. All he's got to do is somehow is to convince his forward players that when they get into goal-scoring positions, that to take the opportunities with conviction and try and stick the ball in the net. And on most occasions this afternoon, they haven't done that. They've got into goal-scoring positions, and then it's been a half-hearted attempt.
Kennedy handled there. Young Dolby's tried as hard as anyone for Millwall, especially in this second half. He's made 1 or 2 good runs.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be fair to Millwall and the youngsters, that some of the youngsters have done particularly well. I think that you know, Mark Beard, since he's come on, has done well at right back. Keith Cunningham has done well. Andy Roberts has worked extremely hard in the middle of the field, and Mark Kennedy also at the front has showed some nice touches. So there are some good things to come out of the game, apart from the result, which is the most important thing for Mick McCarthy.
Very little time left now at St Andrews, with Birmingham still leading by that one precious Carl shot goal. Precious in terms of 3 points, if that's the way it stays, but Kennedy's might... Oh, he was hustling for it there, edge of the area. And Millwall have certainly showed more ambition and invention in these last few minutes than they did hitherto. I think it's all going to be too late for them. The whistle there is for an offside, which was fairly immaterial, really. Terry Cooper extremely agitated on the touchline. I suppose they're talking about pressure for managers, but here, of course, where Birmingham have undergone so many changes and they're always living in the shadow of Aston Villa, Terry Cooper will be put under pressure to get results. Birmingham very much in mid-table. Got a corner. As Ray Clemens said earlier, he really has plumped for experience in the likes of Carl Shutt there and Chris White, who were in the Leeds team that won the championship only 2 seasons ago. And Smith with a corner for Birmingham, still leading by the solitary goal, and White's one of those going in for it. Donovan sensibly takes it into the corner. He knows it's all about time now, and using up as much of it as he can. Fennick wrests the ball away and wins another corner for Birmingham. It's not been a pretty scrap by any means.
No, it hasn't been a classic, but then you can't expect classics every single week, and the main thing is that we have had goal scoring opportunities, we have had goal mouth action, and there is a result, but it won't go down as the best game we've seen on a Sunday this season.
I think there's so little between most of the teams in this division this season. There certainly isn't a Newcastle. He's going to run away with it. It's going to be a goal kick. I think that very few points will separate top and bottom at the end of it. Millwall in possession. The dying seconds at St Andrews. In fact, that's it. So Millwall continue to have this miserable run away from home. They've not scored in 9 matches away from the Den, and a single goal here by Carl Shutt today in the first half has won 3 points for Birmingham City. Don't go away, all the local goals coming up after the